we're here, we're doing it. It's the Office of Doom time. And all of these before pictures are completely pointless and useless and mean nothing because we're starting with footage that was filmed over 1 year ago. All of this before footage that you're seeing and the whole first part of this video took place in January of 2024. And instead of just scrapping all this and never showing it to you, I decided this is where we were going to start. Those of you who have been with my channel for a while and have been desperately waiting for me to show you the office clean out will know it doesn't look like this anymore. It still is really freaking messy and looks similar to this, but still different enough where it's like, well, Jamie, what's going on? This is not what the office looks like. But we're still going to start here to show you how it got from the condition it was in a year ago to where it is now to where it's going to be by the end of this office series. So rather than just scrap all of this footage, like I said, let's just start here. Let's start and show you what happened a year ago. And if you watched my Vlogmas series where you saw a bunch of boxes that were all over my house of inventory, this is one of the times when I did that. I took the inventory out of this office and I sprinkled it haphazardly around my entire house. And then in the summer of last year, I emptied out my storage unit and brought all of that crap into my house. So that's how the house got so bad for the most part. That was the main bulk of it, or that's at least why there was inventory all over my house. Let's put it that way. And then when I did all of the Vlogmas cleaning, I brought all of the inventory that had previously been in the office and had previously been in the storage unit, and I put it all back into the office. Yes, this is a lot of shuffling shit from one room to another and then back again. And I agree that it is pretty maddening. Okay? I'm acknowledging that. I'll get into more of that in a minute, but first of all, I want to say what we are doing here specifically is switching out that bookshelf that's between the two desks on that back wall right there. And you will see Blake is involved in this project because the whole reason we're doing this is he got a new bookshelf for his lounge area, and so the bookshelf that was there is going to go in here now. So because it involves something he wants to do, he gets to help me sort out the office.
It's like brown, though, black.
Oh, that's stained. That's been there forever. This thing needs to just go. Like, in the trash.
Okay.
Do you want me to clear it out here and hand you things, or drag it in there and then I'll clear it out later?
Drag it out in there.
Okay, so drag it out.
What's in it?
Workout stuff. Oh, jeez. Now, I'm very much a feminist, but even I can say it's very nice to have a man around who can just lift pieces of furniture, hoist it up above his head, and carry it out of the room. I don't know, that was kind of hot. I liked that. Thanks, husband. I forgot he did that. Now I'm going to be doing the vacuuming and the cleaning, which is very satisfying, and it was very, very overdue in this spot. I will say, thankfully, because we're a year out from this project, I will say I finally threw away that disgusting broken ottoman. It took me quite a long time to finally empty it out and get a new place to put all of my workout mats and bands and gear that was in there. But I finally did throw away that ottoman. So that was finally lovely. It was really, really in bad shape. You couldn't really tell on camera, but it was badly stained and the hinges were broken and there was like nails sticking out of it and stuff. It was hazardous. It was awful. So that's completely gone out of our lives. Now I'm dealing with inventory boxes, and I think now is a good time to say why I have acquired so much stupid freaking inventory. If you've been here on this channel for a while, you already know this. You've already heard me talk about my inventory a million times because, like I said, I have moved it in many videos all over the dang house. I've moved it to a storage unit. I've moved it from the storage unit back to my house. I've moved it from my living room to my office, from my office to my living room, from my office to my upstairs to my bedroom, from my bedroom down to the, like, seriously, it has been moving around for years. Many years. And this is not a good method. Do not suggest. Highly, highly stupid and bad, okay? This is not a good system whatsoever at all. Trust me when I say learn from my mistakes. If you are doing any kind of e-commerce from home, vintage reselling, whatever, any kind of reselling business, don't do what I've done. Learn from my mistakes. Take heed from the chaos of my home. I over purchased inventory. Period. There's no other excuse or reason for how things got like this. Okay? I vastly, greatly over purchased. There is an entire psychological therapy session that we could have right now and talk about why I did it. Part of it was during COVID. That was a huge part of it, but that was not the only reason. But I was able to do a lot of bulk purchasing during COVID because places were not allowing people to go in person to estate sales. So they were selling things in bulk. And that is not my business model, right? I am not a person who buys storage units and big, huge bulks of things, but that is what I was doing at the time because that was kind of what was available, and I could shop from my living room in my pajamas while the kids were home. And then there was also like a whole big psychological anxiety, depression, bad times going on at the same time that also caused this. So multiple factors, but I am happy to say that we have gotten through it. We're beyond those things now, thankfully. I'm in a much, much better place. I no longer have my storage unit, which I've talked about in previous episodes about why that was a terrible idea. And even looking at this video and seeing how much stuff I'm moving around and knowing that I still at this point had that storage unit filled to the brim, I'm really realizing how much I have actually gotten rid of thus far. Here we are just taking this old, broken, terrible shelf away. That shelf I hated from the minute I bought it. The shelves were really poorly constructed. As soon as I put stuff on it, they started sagging, which drives me nuts. So I was happy to get rid of this shelf and move the IKEA Kallax shelf back in here, which you'll see. This Kallax shelf was here originally, but then Blake wanted it to store some of his records. So we moved it into the lounge and I got this crappy piece of furniture, which was a mistake from day one. But of course, anytime you're moving furniture in a incredibly overcluttered area, the amount of labor it takes to move things around, to make room, to get a new piece of furniture put in. I mean, this was a pain in the butt. It really was. So vacuuming again, cleaning up the space, getting ready for the Kallax unit. So here it is. That ended up needing to be cleaned really desperately as well because it was storing Blake's records. But I cleaned it up and I put it back, and this is the way it had always been intended. I like it here so much better. It is still there now, a year later. It's very much more useful than the other shelf that I had there. The only thing is I don't really have a spot for my scanner and my printer, but you'll see what my plans are for that later on. For now, the Kallax shelf is just so much better storage. Now, look at where we are. Look at all this crap, you guys. Do you even remember it looking like this? Because I kind of forgot, to be honest. Maybe I blocked it from my memory because I don't ever want to think of this space looking like this ever again. I never want it to get like this ever again. We have come so far, haven't we? Let's really round of applause. Round of applause for Jamie, because at least it doesn't look like this anymore in this room, in this particular room. It doesn't look like this anymore. So yay, go me. To be honest, I have no idea why this little video clip was part of my files for this video. You know, I, again, filmed this a year ago, so I don't know why I wanted to show this, and I don't know what I wanted to talk about here. It really has nothing to do with the rest of the video, to be honest with you, but I left it in because I just wanted to show everyone. Let's just, revel in the fact that it doesn't look like this anymore. Okay, back to the originally scheduled program. So here's where we put everything when we moved it out of the office to make room to bring the shelf in, and I am distressed. I am questioning all of my life choices. I hate everything at this moment. Yes, this was a year ago when I did this, but I can still remember the feeling of, oh shit, what have we done? Now I have to put it all back. It all has to go back into the office. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to warn you at this moment, you don't see an after photo at the end of this day. I didn't go in there and take like after pictures and show you how it was all perfectly nice and neatly put back together in some sort of fantastical organized way. It was a little bit more organized just because naturally you just sort of like stack stuff up better when you put it all back, but it was not good. It was still not good, and I didn't take any kind of after video or anything. So once I shuffle everything back into the office, it just sort of is the end of this footage that I filmed. I will show you the new shelf that Blake put in his lounge to hold all of his reel-to-reel tape collection, his reel-to-reel tapes, the catalyst that started this entire project on this particular day. But going back to what I was saying, looking at the amount of inventory I had here, knowing that I had more upstairs too, the whole landing upstairs was filled with boxes, and I still had my storage unit filled to the brim with inventory. I am feeling a little bit better, to be honest, about what I have left to do. Yes, the office is still a nightmare right now, but that's all of it. That's all of the inventory. I have my flea market bins because I do sell in person at a vintage antique flea market every now and then. I do have those bins neatly in the garage, but other than that, all of my inventory fits in the office now. So I really have sold and organized and sorted and gone through and gotten rid of a ton of stuff. I would say more than 50%. I think I've cut it by half, if not more, maybe 75%. Gone, sold, gone, out of the house. So even though you will see me spiral some more in some future footage here, at the time I'm doing this voiceover, I feel a lot better.
Hi. What do you think? There's more space at the bottom.
Yep.
It's okay.
That's how it should be.
Yep.
Looks nice.
It's massive.
We'll start filling it.
All right.
Is that going to fit all of them?
Oh.
Okay.
I'm going to put the living stereo ones at the top.
So we can clear out all those underneath the
Those
counter. That would be great.
It should fit them all.
I feel like it would. I didn't see all those on the
there.
ground.
Like here too.
Oh, God.
Oh, speed right down.
Max, what'd you do? Was that you? Maxwell? Are both sides filled?
No,
Oh.
just that.
Well, Penny, what are you doing under there? They're like, something is going on. We must be in the room, underfoot, to be tripped over.
So what do I do?
The fact that clip ended with Blake saying, so what do I do? That was too perfect. I don't know what you do, honey, but he did it. This is what it looks like now. It's very functional. He loves it. This is one of his favorite little spots in this room. And good for him, you know? Happy husband. That's all that really matters, right? Hi, Penny. So now here we are caught up to current year. This is January of 2025. This is basically the result of Vlogmas. If you watched my Vlogmas series, the little fishbowl series, during that Christmas time, December of last year, the goal was to get all of my inventory and anything work related out of the rest of the house and put into this room, knowing full well that I was going to have to deal with it eventually. And also during that time, I was not working in this office. I took time off from my vintage reselling business to do the Vlogmas series. The cats absolutely love the boxes stacked up a million miles high. They enjoy it very much, but I certainly don't, and it's impossible to work in here, obviously, in this condition. There's so much stuff, it's hard to even show you everything to really make sense of it. There's my dead plant. Obviously, that didn't work out. It never does. I don't know why I even try. I'm a plant serial killer. Anyway, I know it's hard to even make sense of everything that's in here, but this is the state that it's in from just shoving everything office related into this room during Vlogmas. So that's how it got so kind of out of control in here. Over here on this side is sort of like a broken down box mountain because I have been selling a lot. So I do have a lot of the empty banker boxes that I normally store my inventory in. There are 2 desks over here that have computers on them. The one on the right is mine that I no longer use. The desk on the left is Blake's gaming computer that he does use all the time, and that does have to stay in this room. That's not going anywhere. And then we pan around the other side. There's a bookshelf, there's boxes, there's stuffing that's like paper and bubble wrap that I use to pad boxes for shipping material. This cabinet over here, this orange cabinet, I keep shipping supplies in and it can't even close right now. The books on the bookshelf are all inventory. Those are books I'm selling. It's not decor. All the stuff in the boxes is inventory. Inside this closet is where I keep my listed inventory, which is incredibly well organized and labeled. And ultimately, I want this entire closet to be listed inventory. There are shipping boxes up on the top of the shelf as well as artwork that I need to sell. Coming back over here this way underneath the window, that is more inventory in those plastic bins. That is stuff specifically that needs to go to a flea market. And I also have bins in the garage for when I sell at the flea markets. So the stuff being stored inside the office is stuff that I have not yet prepped for the flea market. The stuff in the garage is ready to go whenever I can finally sign up and do one. So that's kind of the overview of what's going on in here. There's a lot of issues, obviously, but I'm going to start with something simple and just clear out the broken down banker boxes, any trash that I can find, the very obvious, simple stuff. Just get all the broken down banker boxes sort of neatly stacked up somewhere. Even, I think at this moment, I put them maybe even right outside the room. I can't quite remember where I ended up putting them, but I definitely stacked them all nicely so they weren't just falling all over the place, and I threw out the trash. The ultimate goal for this very first pass at everything is to just get the room in a state where I can start doing my live sales again. So just a little bit about my workflow and how I sell things in my business. On this table that's in the middle of the room, I set up a little display, some little boards to block out all the junk that's in the background, obviously. And every week I have a live sale of my vintage items on a website/app. It's through the District app, if you're familiar with that company, and the website is virtualantiquemarketplace.com. So my workflow, the way I do things is I pull items that I want to have for my sale that week. I set up my little display on this table here, which you will see in a minute. I take all my photos of everything and the measurements. Oh, I clean everything too, because usually stuff needs to be cleaned first. And I take all my photos and measurements and I make my listings on Virtual Antique Marketplace. We call it VAMP for short, VAMP. And then every Monday, I show those items in a live sale and I run them, and some of them sell and some of them don't. Whatever doesn't sell, I then list on eBay the rest of the week. And because this is a full-time job and I don't have full-time time available, it really does take me the whole week to get all of that stuff listed on eBay. As a matter of fact, I'm way behind right now from the past month or so of starting my live sales again. I'm way behind on listing my stuff on eBay. So I'm already selling per week more than I can really even handle. So unfortunately, it's not a matter of just blasting through all of this inventory and doing something with it immediately. It takes time. Like I said earlier in this video, I have sold probably at least twice as much of this, maybe 2 to 3 times as much as you see here that's in this room in the last year, because that's when that first part of that video was filmed. Between then and now, I've sold at least this much stuff. But it took the whole year. It takes time, you know? So unfortunately, it's kind of just going to be a matter of playing Tetris and finding a way to stack these boxes and get them out of the way enough to where I can function in this room and have my live sales and list things, and just slowly but surely it sells and it gets out of the house. And that's kind of just where we're at right now. It doesn't leave on a super happy, clean high note here. Like, again, from a year ago, there was no like super great aftershots. From this point, like what you see right here in this frame is kind of how it ended up staying. At least I have my little backdrop set up. I have some clear space on this table now where I can take my pictures and I can make my listings and I can have my live sales. That was the main goal of this day. And I will say, between when I was filming this and now, currently, as I'm doing this voiceover, it has changed dramatically, and I have teased it a little bit in my posts and on my Instagram, but it's because I have been doing live sales consistently every single week since I filmed this video at the beginning of January. So again, that's another probably over a month, 6 weeks of live sales chipping away at this inventory. And then I kind of, in part 2 of this office series, you will see me move boxes around and the bins around and restack things in just kind of a better way that is more functional for me, so that I can kind of move around the room a little bit easier, at least. It's still currently at this moment not ideal, but it's a lot better. So hang in there with me for the part 2, because that's when you're going to see some actual more satisfying results. This is just sort of like showing you where we were, where we are now, and how I function in this space, so you can get kind of an idea of what exactly we're dealing with here. Now I'm just going to give it a spray and a wipe down with some glass cleaner. That is the great thing about this table. I absolutely love this table. It is a glass tabletop, so it's pretty impervious to anything I throw at it. You know, I have a lot of dusty, dirty, scratchy things, and having a glass tabletop works out really perfectly. So now I am getting prepared to set up for my live sale, and I figured I'd put this clip in here so you can kind of see what I really do. So I have pulled the items that I wanted to sell this week. I have already taken pictures of every individual thing, and now I'm just kind of spreading it all out sort of in a neat way with a space in between to set up my little tripod when I have my sale. And I use this kind of as like the backdrop when I am having a live sale, and then I just sort of pull things one at a time from the background and sell them. I also use this little display as an opportunity to take some photos of everything all grouped together to promo the sale. Like, here's everything I'm selling this week, kind of a deal, over on my other channel and my other Instagram, which is Mid-Century Wasted. That's the account I use to sell all this stuff. Off to the side is where I keep the boxes where I'm going to put stuff after it sells or doesn't sell. And yeah, that's kind of where we are. You can see a little bit more breathing room around me, just in sort of this one little semicircle area where I sit to have my sales. So from this point on, I had about 6 weeks of live sales, and now we're going to jump cut to about a week ago. Okay, I'm gonna just film. I wasn't planning on it, obviously. Hi everyone, I'm in my pajamas. I haven't showered, and I probably have food in my teeth because I just ate an egg salad sandwich. Welcome to my home. I don't know what video this clip is even going to be in. I'm filming in such an absolutely chaotic manner because, hey, it's on brand, and it's the office, and the office is going to be chaotic, okay? I have firmly decided the fishbowl method is not going to work in here. It's not the type of place where I can say, I'm going to go through this box and just, you know, put a box in the fishbowl and do one box at a time. Because in this box, there's nowhere to put this stuff. It belongs in this box and it belongs right here, right now. So it's just not going to work that way. It's not like this stuff has a different location or can be decluttered and leave the house. It truly is a matter of all of this stuff and all of this stuff and all of those boxes. And wait, we're not done. We're not done. All of those boxes, those ones are good, but all of those boxes, all of that is unlisted inventory. Now, I have not been buying any more inventory. Step one, do not bring another single effing thing into this house. I'm mad, I may cuss, but I handled it. Nothing else is coming in, right? I have more inventory than I can sell in months and months. And that's the point I'm making here is on average, my workflow as far as getting this stuff listed, sold, and sorted away in the closet, those white bins are the things that are listed already and haven't sold yet. Very organized, trust me, meticulously, anally organized. I go through about, on average, 2 boxes per week. I have a live sale every Monday. This is, welcome to me in a manic state. Okay, I have a live sale every Monday where prepping for the live sale, I photograph all of my items. I make a listing for each thing. Then I have a live sale. Some of the stuff sells. I ship it away the next day. And then everything that didn't sell, I then cross post on eBay and file it away in my filed away system. But I only go through, on average, 2 of these. Let's go down here. 2 of these banker boxes, okay, per week. There's a lot of banker boxes. There's a lot here. So, sorry, I'm probably making you sick. Maybe if I take my hair out, that'll help. No, it didn't help. And I do not have more time in the week to get through more items than that. I was thinking of having a second sale each week, selling live twice a week, and hopefully I could get through twice as many boxes, 4 per week. That would be good. And it's just on average, depends on how many items are in the boxes, right? If there's a bunch of teeny tiny little things, I'm only going through 1 box. I sell about 25 or 30 items, or I show 25 or 30 items per sale. So, a handful of those things sell right then, and then the rest of it gets filed away and cross-posted, like I said. The idea of like going through all these boxes, I don't really need to go through them. I did post on my community tab, or I guess it's not called the community tab anymore. It's the posts tab, because now there is a different community tab. YouTube's doing weird things, but I did post on YouTube a picture and asked for your advice on what I should do about this inventory mountain right here, right? This was the question. Should I leave it all here and just keep chipping away at it a couple boxes a week, basically? Or should I take all of this crap, the stuff everywhere, all of the inventory, and move it to a different part of the house and then chip away at it? The reason I really want to move it out of the office is because the office is driving me freaking bonkers and I can't function in here. I have anxiety in here. I get like this in here. And it's not productive. And it's hard to ship. Everything's taking me 10 times longer because I have to like climb over mountains of crap to get anything done. That is why I had moved all of this inventory out of here in the first place. That is why this stuff lived in a storage unit. It's why it lived scattered in other parts of the house. And when I cleaned up for Vlogmas, because people were going to be coming over, I just shoved it all back in here, knowing full well, eventually the time would come in the future where I would have to now deal with this stuff. And here we are in the future dealing with it. But there was definitely a reason why I didn't want it in here crowding up the space. It's because I can't work in here like this. On the other hand, I don't want to put it all back in my beautifully clean living room. Like, I feel like I would cry if I had to do that. But equally much, I feel like I would love it in here if all of this stuff wasn't in here anymore. And this would be just so much nicer in here. And I want to cry when I'm in here. So maybe either way, I'm going to cry. I just have to figure out which room I want to cry in. Maybe that's all I have to decide right now. All I have to decide is, where do I prefer to cry? Honestly, I feel like it's better to cry in the living room, because then at least I can get this work done. I feel like I don't want to fully commit to that yet. I feel like it would piss off a lot of people. It would piss off myself. Let's be honest. It would piss me off to have to move all this stuff into the living room. All that work to clear it out. But on the other hand, we don't have any big parties coming up. Nobody's going to be coming over anytime soon. Maybe if I set myself a distinct time limit to keep them in there, and if I don't get through them all in that amount of time, I bring what's left back into the office. I'm good with setting like goals and limits and being strict with myself. I am very good about that, I will say. Like, with Vlogmas, it was like, I have to go through one fishbowl item per day. I got to get a video up every day. I was like freaking sick as a dog for half of it, and I still did it. So when I set goals for myself, I do take those seriously. So that's an option. But here's what I'm thinking right now. And first of all, thank you guys so much for all of your suggestions on that post that I was talking about. It was about 50-50 split. My brain is 50-50 split on what to do, and you guys were about 50-50 split. But there is a secret third option, and I'm going to turn this around. Taking this pile as the example, right? There's clearly stuff everywhere, but using this specifically as the example, there is a secret third option of just getting the loose items, the bags, there's definitely some loose things that aren't boxed up around here. Start by getting the loose items sort of sorted and boxed up, and try to consolidate at least a little bit. There's not much as far as like what's in the boxes. There's a little bit to consolidate in the boxes, but not a ton. But if I could just get it to the point where it's only sealed, lidded, closed, labeled boxes, right? Maybe it won't be as bad in here. And maybe I could just kind of like, this thing's going to go, but there's a different piece of furniture I want to buy. I don't know if I've even talked about that yet, but this thing is a piece of crap. But if I could just kind of stack the boxes right here in a more orderly fashion, get this even just scooched out somewhere else, and all that stuff needs to go in boxes, So maybe I should start there and see if I can deal with keeping the boxes in this room and just try to get some of the visual stuff out of the way, try to get it pushed back a little bit so it's not like 2 layers deep and I can walk right here easier. Because that's really the problem. Like being able to walk, like look at how I have to walk. Okay, let's come in. You get to see my socks. Okay, but let's come in. Okay, like here we're okay. This box can get filed away. Okay, that box is not so bad. But then we get to my seat, this is tight. This is not how this is supposed to be at all. I can no longer walk through here, which I used to be able to do, but I can't walk through there. The air conditioning is just perpetually in the way. This area is filled with inventory. Max will be very sad when I take the boxes away. Is that right, Maxwell? Do you want me to take the boxes away? I know you don't. You love cardboard. Kitty cats love cardboard boxes. Those are his favorite. That's why everything's covered in cat hair. So here, back to my walking. This was a box of sale stuff that I need to file away. These are like my 2 immediate tasks, those 2 boxes. And then now here we are trying to get through. I have to hold on and step and step and then come over here. And this is where my shipping boxes are, right? And then some stuff fell. And sometimes I need to come over here and get stuff that's over here. And that's really difficult because what the F, you know? These are all empties, which I had, whoa, over there. There's my empties, as well as some stuff that has to go to be donated. So functionality is not functioning. We're not functioning. Stepping sideways. It's not easy. This is my shipping paper. It's just kind of shoved everywhere. And then to come in here and find stuff that has sold. This is all the stuff that's listed. So when something sells, I have to come in here and find it, which is normally easy when I can walk right here. Yeah. So, and all of this is stuff that's not listed too. And so is all of these pictures, right? And this is really flea market stuff that I would rather keep in the garage or up there because I have some of them up here. So up there is fine too. But yeah. So that's where I am right now. I guess I've devised a plan. I'm going to try to just do a minimal amount of consolidation, try to visually and physically squish the space that's pissing me off the most, and just keep chipping away at these boxes and not piss myself and everyone else off by moving them out of the room. I'm just so impatient. I want it to be nice in here, and I'm so impatient. And it's going to take months for me to list all this stuff. Realistically, this is months of work. And I just want it to be nice in here until then. This is why I got a storage unit. And I will never, ever do that again, because then it's really out of sight, out of mind. And I don't list any of that stuff. I just buy new stuff. The storage unit was a disaster. But this is why I got it. Because in my mind, I was like, I'll just put it all in the storage unit. I'll go over there every week and take a couple boxes and bring them back home and sell that stuff. And in theory, that would be a fantastic solution, to just store it somewhere else and bring in a little bit at a time and let it trickle home. But I know myself, and I know that that is not going to work. And I don't want to waste the money. Storage units have ballooned in prices out here. So forget that. I have to just a little bit at a time, just get through it. A bunch of you were like, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. But I really want to take the elephant and shove him somewhere else and then eat him. I don't want the elephant living in my office while I eat it. Also, I freaking love elephants and I would never eat one. They're my favorite wild animal. So that whole metaphor is kind of horrible and disgusting. Okay. I have my plan. I'm going to stop thinking about it. I'm going to stop yapping about it. And we're going to try to make it just a little bit tighter, cleaner, more right angles, less stuff just falling everywhere and spilling all over. So even though I kind of had devised a plan, I also decided to get more input from you guys. So you may have seen I went live last week on Jamie Chaotic on this channel for the first time. So you may have seen that video pop up. If not, I would encourage you at this point to go watch the replay of that live, because we really walked through everything. We sort of troubleshooted. We talked about the challenges and the ideas, and I got a lot of really good feedback and input. I will let you know, ultimately I decided not to move everything into the living room. I just couldn't do it. The more I talked about it, the more sick to my stomach I was about it. So I did not move the inventory again out of this room. I am going to leave this video here though. So yes, go watch the live replay if you didn't watch that live, because that would be like the next chronological step in the process here. And I'm just gonna say things have gotten a lot better since then. So Stick around for part 2. It's gonna be very satisfying. Sorry there's no before and afters yet, but in part 2 there really will be. So I hope you stick around for the next one, and please subscribe if you haven't done so already. It's completely free. You just hit the subscribe button, turn on the little notification bell, and you will find out right away when I post a new video or when I go live again, because I might do that again this week. It was quite helpful. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this video wasn't too out of control and annoying, and I promise you there's more satisfying results coming in the next one. All right, thanks for watching. Bye, everyone.